are. Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, hello.
We are back for one last round. This is the round where if you have small children in the room somehow, then they're not asleep yet. It's 11:20 Pacific. If your children are not asleep yet, you might want to put them to bed.
It's
If
11:20
they're that
Pacific.
age.
Do you know where your children are?
But anyways, um this is the time of night where I look to see if I'm still recording, and I realize, yes, I am. And so, anyways, this is the time of night where we cover the more controversial of the stories.
Trust me, hippie. You want to stay for these.
Yeah. Um. Now, some of these stories, they're not as controversial to some people as others, but we kind of prefer to err on the side of caution, as with this first article, which is actually concerning evolution. Now, most people would kind of just go ahead and say it's evolution. It's
In
you're
the words that I said when I read this article's headline, well, duh.
yeah, you're stupid if you don't kind of believe it. But I would rather err on the side of caution. So we're gonna start out with the maybe this maybe Section 3 material. I believe this was donated, but if it was, I forgot to write down the name of who donated it. Badcliffe. Bad. Go to your room. I'm in my room. Well, go to your room even harder. I don't know. Shut
Get
up.
in the event of
Anyways, evolution says you're weaker and more disease-prone than your ancestors. Now, some people would be kind of, most people would be kind of,
Well, duh.
yeah, that makes sense. Because, honestly, we're a bit more,
Clean.
no, I was gonna say, like, docile. But that's not the
Yeah.
word that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a specific word. Sedentary! That's the one! That's good on you, Zarkith. That's exactly the word I was looking for.
And
Sedentary.
thanks to Hades Bane for this article.
Yes, thank you, Hades. Again. Thank you, Hades, for a lot of the articles this week. Also, thank you, Boosh, for the sports article, and I think one of the other articles. I can't remember. Oh, a couple of the Section 2 articles. Thank you. My apologies for not citing who's giving these articles. I forget to write them down. So anyways, evolution says you're weaker and more disease-prone than your ancestors, and to most people that kind of just makes sense. We're more sedentary than our ancestors. We have less of a need to be stronger.
We've got guns for that.
Yeah, we've kind of got weapons, and we've grown technologically to the point where we don't really need
Yeah.
to be physically as strong. And that's essentially the gist of the article. Modern medicine and a move away from an agrarian society have made the hunter-gatherer traits that were once necessary to survive obsolete, according to Alexandre. Wow, for once I'm having trouble with a name. Kochol,
Let's have
right?
a look at it. Where is it gone?
It's in the second paragraph under the picture. Third line of it.
Third line of it. Oh, yes. Oh, that's RE, so that'd be Alexandre Colpior.
Thank you. The German scientist and lead author of the report, which was published Monday in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Kochol says that thousands of years ago, people died from genetic illnesses that are no longer death sentences with the help of modern medicine, meaning that we can actually reproduce before we die.
Which is a shame for a lot of people in these articles.
Yes, if Section 2 is any indication, that may not be a good thing. Wow, you know what's it's kind of funny because, yeah, this entire article is pretty much duh.
Yeah.
To me, I honestly, no offense to these guys, I'm sure they put in tons of effort, but it honestly kind of feels like I could have done the same thing.
Do you know why? Because we're gamers. And basically, we're thinking of the Quarians. And we're paranoid that we're going to get to that point.
Uh-huh. I wasn't actually thinking of the Quarians because, again, I've actually never played any of the Mass Effect games.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But I do know what you're talking about, and I had the same kind of thought, just not the Quarians per
Yeah.
se, just kind of, yeah. I wish I could take a course in actual evolution. But,
Of course, we were monkeys. Now we're people.
end of story.
There's some little things concerning some other species evolving, but who gives a shit about that?
The gist of things. Monkeys, people. Done. A+. And yes, I know, I'm simplifying. I'm kidding. Don't kill me.
With me, you can
Anyways,
come and try. It'll be amusing. I'll try and stream it.
don't actually take him up on the offer. I know you know where I live. Someone knows where I live.
I know. I mean, make the effort to come all the way over to England.
Well, yeah, you can go try and kill him. Just not me. Pretend
then-
he said it.
Then either way, whether you kill me or not with your attempt, either way, it'll be good entertainment.
So, yeah, we just a nice, almost tame article to start off section 3 before we get into the a bit more, maybe controversial, maybe not, maybe, depending on how
Yes.
you look at things.
My little bait said there. I was basically baiting for some people to say, yeah, that would be good entertainment. Basically to ease us into the more controversial stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because, snuff films and such.
We have, in the more politicky side and the less sciencey side, we have Richmond cops mistakenly handing over anti-protest guides to anarchists. After filing a Freedom of Information Act request with the Richmond, Virginia Police Department for training documents, Mo Kerning, learn how to use it, received much more than expected in return: Homeland Security and crowd control guides that show how the police target protests. Police fired for an emergency court order yesterday to prohibit Karn from publicizing any of the documents, but you gave them to him. It's the age of the internet. You're fucked.
Yeah, it's already on the internet.
Yeah, chances are it's already on the Pirate Bay.
He's like,
And it's already got like thousands of cedars.
yeah. I mean, he had it for 10 minutes and he was already scanning it. Page for page.
I wouldn't even have had it for 10 minutes. I would have been like, oh shit, cool.
He
Scan.
had to get home first.
He was already at home if he was getting the mail.
True.
The cops' reasoning for filing the emergency court order was defendant Mo Karn is a known and admitted anarchist. The documents, however, have already been published online and buried in the training guides are insights into 3 trends in law enforcement that have been occurring not just in Virginia, but nationally: the demonization of protest, the militarization of police, and turning local cops into terrorism officials. It kind of goes over all 3 of those sections, and I'm really not going to go over all of that right now, but
Recognizing local cops as counter-terrorism officials. Yeah, basically they just go, you're now the counter-terrorism official. Go get us some tea.
could you stop and start your video real fast?
Yep.
You're all frozen up on the screen.
That do it, or should I stop completely?
There we go. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see why they want to keep these out of the eyes of the public. They're not going to be able to, but I can see why they would want to.
Oh yeah, because the man wants to keep us down.
Yeah. Well, when you put it that way, yes.
In the most basic of terms, basically.
You know, I was about to go look it up and see if I could find a copy of it online real fast, but then I realized I'm live, and that would probably not be the best idea to do live. I do have this computer. Let's see just real fast.
Mm,
Richmond cops mistakenly hand over anti-protest guides.
it's.
Um,
I just tried Pirate Bay. It's actually not there.
I'm trying to. Okay, I see it on. I see a thread on Reddit. That's gonna be no. Damn, there's no links to it. What the hell? I'm surprised.
No, I even tried Pirate Bay. Well, let's try it again.
Wouldn't that be funny? Feds.
And they would bust in basically because of me using Pirate Bay, not because we're looking up the
It doesn't
anti-protest
matter
guide.
what we're looking up on Pirate Bay, just the fact that we're looking it up.
Anti-protest law. I found. No, they're not there.
Yeah, I'm kind of, yeah, I'm
Let's
not
try-
finding anything. Oh well, I'll look later. See if I can find it.
No, I even tried protest guide. It's not even. There's nothing there.
I just looked up, Richmond anti-protest guide. But that turned up, like, a bunch
Nothing's
of
up,
results with this exact same title. Mostly eventually leading back to this exact same article. Alright, let's move on to the next one. The next and final two articles are more religion-oriented than politics or science. This next one is more of a study showing that highly English speaking, highly religious people are less motivated by compassion than are non-believers. Now,
That's not correct. That's not very correct wording there. I don't think.
um, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, I just don't think the R should be there. Highly religious people are less motivated by compassion than non-believers.
The R is kind of an optional word there. It feels
Yeah.
like. But yeah, it doesn't interrupt the flow of the sentence. Too bad.
No.
Anyways, English. um, in 3 experiments, social scientists have found that compassion consistently drove less religious people to be more generous. For highly religious people, however, compassion was largely unrelated to how generous they were, according to the findings which are published in the most recent online issue of the journal Social Psychological and Personality Science. Weird title, but okay. The results challenge a widespread assumption that acts of generosity and charity are largely driven by feelings of empathy and compassion, researchers said. In the study, the link between compassion and generosity was found to be stronger for those who identified as being non-religious or less religious. Overall, we find that for religious people, the strength of their emotional connection to another person is critical to whether they will help that person or not. The more religious, on the other hand, may ground their generosity less in emotion and more in other factors such as doctrine, a communal identity, or reputational concerns. Now, this kind of makes sense if you look at it from, well, just an atheistic kind of standpoint.
Oh, look at it. Now, I was interested to see that this experience, an atheist being strongly influenced by his emotions to show generosity to strangers, was replicated in 3 larger systematic studies.
I'm not all that surprised by this, though, because it kind of makes sense. An atheist would, well, we kind of think, well, there's nothing after, so you kind of want to prolong your experience here on Earth. You want to make your life here as long as possible. So you're obviously going to help out people a bit more so you don't die. Whereas, whereas the more religious of people, they have a heaven, they have an afterlife, they have a little bit less of a motivation to help others, kind of like that. It's all in the name of self-interest. So it's really just selfish. But selfish.
Even down to offering a person on a crowded bus, offering your seat to a person on a crowded bus of train. That's basically how. That's how low they went with the generosity.
Wow.
And they were still saying that the religious types wouldn't do that.
Wow. Wow. That's pretty awesome. Well, that's interesting. Well, yeah, I know all human actions are based on self-interest, but it just makes a little bit more sense that the atheist would have a little bit more of a interest in keeping oneself alive, whereas the deeply religious would think, well, I'm still gonna exist, even if I die, so it...
It's people sort of like, oh, something's wrong? Okay, fair enough. Then it's, oh, something's wrong? Don't worry, just pray to God. I don't have to do shit. You can just go pray to God.
Yeah, Ian, we're not generalizing. We're not saying all Christians are complete assholes, and none of them are compassionate at all. We're just saying the highly religious people are less motivated by compassion.
Yeah.
So if they did give up their seat, it would be less of a compassion thing and more of a something else.
God would want it.
Yeah. More of a dogmatic thing or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you are, Ian. Anyways, let's kind of push out of that one before we start a whole debate in chat, and I have to start banning people.
You really think the next story will stop that debate?
It'll make someone chuckle. It made me chuckle.
Yeah. Shall I read this title out?
I will. Religious
Yeah.
websites are riskier than porn sites for online viruses, study shows. Just in case you thought you were going to get away with me not lecturing you about viruses for once. Yes, I know you're here, Zayla, but still. You can't ban me! I am a god! Anyways...
Actually, I'm Odin, I'm the god here.
Anyways, web wanderers are more likely to get a computer virus by visiting a religious website than by peering at porn, according to a study released on Tuesday. This is mostly drive-by attacks, where hackers booby-trap legitimate websites with malicious code that infects the browser. Websites with religious or ideological themes were found to have triple the average number of threats than those featuring adult content, according to Symantec, the producers of Norton Security, Norton Antivirus. It is interesting to note that the websites hosting adult/pornographic content are not even in the top 5. They are ranked 10th. Now, there is an interesting hypothesis in here, and I do agree with it, because it makes a lot of sense. We hypothesize that this is because pornographic website owners already make money from the internet, and as a result have a vested interest in keeping their sites malware-free. It's just not good for repeat business. So, porn sites kind of make their money off of ads. They make their money off of a lot of ads, so obviously they're kind of going to want to keep you looking at those ads, so if they've got malware on those ads, you aren't going to keep looking at those ads. So it's in their best interest to keep the malware out of their sites. Also, I do like Ian's logic. Maybe the hackers care less about religious sites and want to keep the porn sites free. That
Yeah.
could be it.
And also, it's a religious site, and a lot of the time they're gonna make it basically go, okay, well that's there for people to look at. Let's go back to, worshipping God traditionally, and then they come back, post a new article, and basically, there's less likely to be a person trying to keep it secure on a regular basis.
Hmm. Yeah, as a general rule of thumb, the excuse me, religious leaders tend to have less of a grasp on internet security, web hosting, the stuff that you really, really need a deep, in-depth knowledge of to run a website.
Yeah, because they're not going to pay some unbelieving heathen to make the website for them.
Exactly, and all the unbelieving heathens are the nerds.
Except Ian Kid.
Well, yeah. Ian, you are the only one. You are the Highlander.
There can only be one. And there should have only been one movie, really.
Oh, I've never actually even seen Highlander. I've only seen Spoonie's reviews. I've only... I know. I haven't...
Look, dude, just watch it. Pirate Bay it.
I know. I was about to say, I'll just download it from Pirate Bay sometime.
Look, I mean, it's been out that long that it was a few years ago that I got a free copy in the Daily Mail newspaper.
You lucky bastard.
'Cause there was like a movie a week thing going on.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, they don't do it as much anymore. I think it's mostly because of copyright.
Well, yeah.
Despite these now being in the public domain, they just don't allow it
Hmm.
because people are dicks.
Still are, but were too.
Trust, yeah. Don't bother watching the other ones, but the first one is really good. If you want to see some really corny acting, watch Endgame. As in Highlander Endgame, not Endgame itself.
Yeah. Well, that kind of wraps it up for the more controversial of the
Now on to section 4, where
Of
that
the-
parakeet should have been.
of the news. But we did have Odin and I were talking during the break. Zayla, you're going to hell because you're an unbelieving heathen. We were talking during the break about something that just made me laugh so hard. You want to introduce this one?
Everybody, I'm sure many of you know about this story of the king of /b/ of Gary Faulkner. Or Gary Brooks Faulkner, a Colorado man who authorities alleged tried to sneak in Afghanistan in order to hunt and kill Al-Qaeda's head Osama bin Laden. This man posted on the /b/ forums saying, I'm going to go to Afghanistan and assassinate Osama bin Laden. What should I take with me? In which other people responded, troll, obvious, troll is obvious. And then one person posted, night vision goggles, a sword, and a pistol. And I think it was about a week after Osama bin Laden was actually killed. This article. And I can't find the original article, but basically, this guy's so awesome, Time did a piece on him.
Mm-hmm. And
How close did Gary Faulkner, the shaggy Colorado construction worker, he's a construction worker.
really?
He was found trying to get into Pakistan, driving around in a car with night vision goggles, a 40-inch sword, and a pistol, saying he was trying to kill Osama bin Laden. He was then instantly declared king of the internet.
And just look at this guy. Look at that glorious beard and look at his hair. My God, that man is amazing.
Yeah. I want to see. There's been like loads of photoshops of Gary Faulkner onto like Conan the Barbarian and stuff. And one of the, with with a crown on and everything. I want to see these. Ah, damn it! It would probably be only on the macro meme picture, where it basically had a first screenshot of the original post, and then the original article, and then the following photoshops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's just try Gary Faulkner photoshops. See if it comes up with anything.
Now, the only reason we brought this up is just because, well, it's entertaining as hell. It cheered me right the fuck up, but that's just me.
Yeah, so if you want to take the time to read this piece of inside Gary Faulkner's one man hunt for Osama bin Laden, go ahead. But in terms of articles, there is a more recent one in which he finally returns home, and just look at the picture on this article.
Mm-hmm.
You have to check it out, Gordon.
I wish I could. Oh, yes, I can. Haha, zoom. That guy. That guy's a fucking boss. I can't tell what kind of a. How far was I zoomed in?
And there is a third article in which he basically tried to claim some of the $25 million reward, basically due to how close he got before then the SEALs got there first, basically, or whoever it was. You got to think, maybe it's sort of like, we've been looking for this guy for so long, and this guy Gary, I think he's on the right track. We should go search where he's searching. And then basically, it's like an auction on eBay. Just like right before he got there, the SEALs fucking just steal it.
You kill-stealing motherfuckers.
Yeah. I picture it as well. Osama bin Laden's just like if not for the SEALs, he's filming the next tape, and then all of a sudden you hear Gary Faulkner comes in, stab, blam, blam, blam. And then all you see is basically him just basically sit down then afterwards very calmly and goes, "Dear Internet, I did it."
I just see this guy like sending an Xbox Live message to the SWAT team or whatnot.
Yeah.
Just, you kill-stealing motherfuckers. I was so damn close.
And you got to think, did he let himself get arrested so he could return home after he maybe heard that Osama bin Laden's been killed already?
At least give him a Walmart gift card.
It's like, I'm going to find this guy. And then suddenly he sort of looks up to his top right. He just spots something in his peripheral vision. And he sees SOCOM Navy SEALs killed Osama bin Laden. He's like, son of a
Damn
bitch.
it.
Well, what's the easiest way to get home now? I don't know, get arrested.
I such a ride with the cops. Alright. That pretty much concludes it for this week in Thing.
TurboCast News.
Turbo Newscast. There we go. Couldn't remember what it was called, even though the title's sitting there staring me straight in the face. That pretty much wraps it up for the Turbo Newscast for this week. Come join us every Thursday at, 8 o'clock p.m. PST? No, I did not do Section 0, Zila, because I, frankly, didn't trawl the forums for any interesting news this week. My apologies. We'll just worry about it next week. So come join us every Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. We start at 8 o'clock p.m. We end sometime after 8 o'clock p.m. Fraser Standard Time.
Yeah. Ironically, it's 10 to 8 in the morning for me. So you started in the PM and finishing now at the AM.
We're almost in the AM. It's 11:49 right now. 11 more minutes. If we keep talking for 11 minutes, it'll be AM for me too.